All right, guys, let me just get my shit together. Alrighty, let me just make sure some people know, some of my peeps know that I'm live, and I will share it and we will get moving on this. Let me share the link. All right, we're getting that done. Boop. All right, come on, phone. Do your thing. Do your thing, phone. Have time to make my own crap, unfortunately. Most of the time. We're going to cover a bunch of stuff tonight. This is going to probably be a long show, a long show. So I don't know. Welcome everyone who is here. Please share this live if you can. Please share this live if you can. I'm going to turn down notifications on my phone and we will get moving. I just don't want this to interrupt you guys. You don't want it to interrupt you guys. So we have a lot to cover. Oh, looks like I bumped my camera out of the usual frame. All right. So we've got a lot to cover. A lot has happened in the past 24 hours. More information has come out. More people have worked to slow down video from that shooting. It seems like, if I'm being totally honest, unfortunately, I think that the Trump administration is losing the narrative because they're up against the entire media, including Fox News. They're up against rhinos. They're up against literally everybody and their brother with actually getting the truth out there and so on. It's up to us, guys. So that's why I say, if you can, share this wherever you can. I'm only on X. I got chased off of Facebook for good, pretty much. I probably have 20 Gmail accounts from trying to keep Facebook. It's not worth it. So let me just there we go. All right, that should be good. All right, so who's with me? I don't even know who's with me. All right, let's get busy, guys. Let's get this going. All right, so let me get chat set up in case anybody wants to chat. Hey Rob, how you doing, buddy? You're not popping up on screen yet. I gotta do pop out chat and then get the link and everything. I just was I'm like, I gotta go live. I can't let this stand as is with what's happening and stuff. There is a whole lot to cover. I'm not kidding when I say that. So let me get hey Cheryl. I don't know if Cheryl's here yet. Let me get I'm just getting stuff, last minute stuff popped up. Hope all is well down there, Rob. All right, I'm closing out this. I'm setting up the chat for the screen here. Paste, close. There we go. All right, I think you should start showing up if you talk on screen now. So hopefully that'll work out. All right, guys. I have so much to cover here. There's been a lot. I think what we'll do, I'm trying to decide if I want to do the what do you call it? YouTube, liberal hive mind YouTube. He's seeing the things that I'm seeing. Okay, so Grok is down. Like I said, I couldn't make a thumbnail. Let's get to it. There is some new video out. This is kind of a go to, like, this is on the fly here, guys. So they'll be getting in the ICE agents' faces and obstructing, doing the insurrectionist things that these people do. So here we go. This is him with a gun. Now, let me make this I'll make this bigger. I'm not sure if you guys are going to show up on chat. I'm hoping that you do, but somebody's got to. I don't know. I don't know, Rob. I don't think you showed up on chat. So I'm guessing my chat thingy is defunct. It's busted up. So what we'll do is we'll just do this, and I'll just acknowledge when you talk in chat. So take a look at this really closely. Watch his left hand. So you're going to be looking in this general area right here. Take a look at this and tell me what you guys think. Now, there is a community note on here, but I don't necessarily believe those. What would you say that is? I'm going to tell you what the community note says. This video is intentionally degraded, lower quality, and plus selective cuts to suggest the victim was holding a weapon. The original shows the person's left hand is empty. Now, I couldn't tell you that because the original goes a lot faster than this. But I do find it interesting that that's how it looks. So you tell me what you think. Is that edited? I have no idea. This popped up today, and I was like, huh, what's that? I mean, it could totally be edited, and there's that community note, but I don't necessarily either believe community notes. And the reason being that, like, for example, whenever somebody says something to Thomas Massey and proves him wrong, he has a bunch of people go in and community note shit. So I don't trust them. I just don't. So that's, they want to say that nonsense, they can say that nonsense. I feel like it's important to say this before we move on. This dude had a gun on him, okay? What we've seen transpire since this shooting is a few things. We've seen the left all of a sudden become not only two-way experts, but two-way advocates, which is amazing. I've been telling you guys this is going to continue the longer that they're allowed to insurrect. I'm going to be honest with you, not thrilled with the fact that Trump never called in the National Guard and technically declared the Insurrection Act, because as we now know, there was most definitely an insurrection. And there is. And the reason that we know this is because they've been caught. Absolutely caught. So here's an example of what I'm talking about right here. This is from Right Angle News Network, and this all comes from Cam Higbee, but if I'm gonna be honest with you guys, I think that Trump administration knew the signal chat was there. I think that the guys on the ground probably had people digging into this for the simple fact that look at the operation that they carried out on Maduro. Do you really think they don't know what these people are doing behind the scenes? Do you really think it took these like on the ground reporters to infiltrate this? I just, to me, seems hard to believe. I mean, props to them for doing it and making it public. But I think that they already knew about this. That's why you hear some of the things that is coming out in these people's mouths in the administrations over the past, month or so. But it says right here, at least 2 Democrat Minnesota state officials and campaign advisor to Tim Walz and Amanda Kohler have been identified as admins and dispatchers in the state. And then they play this interesting video of Tim Walz. I think this is the one where he was at his home, hiding behind his fence, talking to the insurrectionist. I won this at the fair for winning the ball toss or something, megaphone. So what we saw after that was an escalation to some degree on what transpired. So here's some more. Members of leftist media are even included. Here you go. Included in this signal. Ben Joveland right here. This guy here. He's a photojournalist at NPR, not NPR, but NPR News. Care to enlighten us on how your group gathers intelligence on federal agents' whereabouts and so on? So here he is right here, photojournalist, NPR. He's just got it right in his name. Down just a smidge. See, he goes through all those names and people started digging, and that's how we got where we are today. And I'll get to that. It's just, there's a lot to get through, guys. So I have, I read this to you the other day. That's the whole post right here. He explained how they, they operate, what all these emojis mean and so on. And it's really freaking telling that a bunch in the government, including the lieutenant governor, were caught in this signal chat. I mean, we've all suspected that they were working together all this time, and lefties were like, oh, you're just crazy. No, the American people are just fed up. Just like we know for a fact, a lot of these people are paid agitators, but I guess the church's part is the aspect for the KKK. So I'm not one of these, I'm not a conservative. I'm not a Republican. I'm just plain out, at this point, I just say I'm MAGA, right? You all know this about me. I have no faith in conservatives. I have no faith in Republicans. However, having said that, I have seen a lot of them on X turn into complete bitches over this. That's what I was going to get to. I've seen gun advocacy people say, oh, well, you could take a gun to a protest. I can't show you. Well, actually, I probably could show you. Let me bring this up really quick. That may be, and you've probably seen by now these people trying to correlate between this event, this insurrectionist who was blocking federal agents from arresting a rapist. I do believe he was a rapist, impeding them, which is a federal crime. Okay, he was helping carry out a federal crime. If you go back and watch my last video, the guy's filming through that restaurant window. Literally, you see the dude standing in the street before anything happens to that woman. He's standing there in the street, impeding the street with her against these officers. Okay, so the narrative that he was just there helping because he's a nurse, it was bullshit. His family's come out and said, hey, he wanted to go protest. We told him don't do anything stupid, and so on. And here we are. He didn't listen to his own family, but his own family admitted it, and he took a gun. So the question is he allowed to have a gun at a protest? I'm hearing no sound. What? No sound? Are you serious? Let me check. Hang on, Rob. Let me double check on my phone because that wouldn't surprise me. No, I've got sound, Rob. Let me let him know that there is sound. Unless somebody else, oh, we went down to one view, so maybe there's not. All right. Hang on, guys. Let me just double check. Make sure everything's working. Everything's working. Yeah. Okay, so I don't know, we've got these gun advocates and they're saying things like, you're allowed to protest with guns and stuff. But in Minnesota and many other states, let me see if I can bring this up. Grok is down, so I got to come up with other ways to find this stuff or show you this stuff, rather. I already know this. Thanks for joining me, peoples. Rob said there was no sound there for a minute. Oh, it looks like they changed it. Yeah, they changed it because of recent incidents. Damn it. I had that freaking law in Grok, and Grok is down for me. Ugh. Anyway, Minnesota did, along with Michigan, I think Wisconsin and other places, remember, they said no guns at polling places, no guns at protests. They passed these laws back in 2020, 2021, I think after Biden won. It would have been after 2021. And he wasn't supposed to have a gun there, right? And not to mention, that wasn't a peaceful protest. That was people breaking federal law, and he had a weapon on his side. Now, having said all that, when you take a gun there and you get into an altercation, resist arrest, and so on, right, because someone is allowed to do something does mean it's the right thing to do. No, it doesn't. Exactly. Hey, Cheryl, welcome. Rob's here too. Whether he's allowed or not, I can't, Grok's down for me. I don't know why it's down. I was going to show you, I had it all saved. Figures, it's been down for 2 days off and on. Anyway, so long story short, you don't go to a riot with a gun. That's just stupid. That's stupid. That's like you don't bring your baby to a riot and then play the victim if your baby gets a little tear gas in its face, right? And these people are rioting. They were rioting this whole time. So let me show you what exactly happened last night. I just got to get to the bottom here. Guys, I've been bookmarking stuff like crazy while I'm working on that truck that I told you all I got. Like, just bookmarking stuff on my off time. All right, so we're going to start here with this whole situation. People saw this happen on live stream. This is I meme, therefore I am. 2 CBP agents, one badly injured and bleeding, didn't get any help from the Minneapolis police because their boss is playing politics. Enough is enough. Send the army to Minnesota. Now this goes back to like what I was saying before. These guys were on their own. I told you long ago, the reason that they're, these leftists are like, oh, they're sending in thousands of these Border Patrol and ICE and so on to Minnesota. It's more than our cops. They've only got 600 cops in this town, in this city. Rob, something's wrong on your end. Hey, somebody let Rob know. Cheryl, can you let Rob know something's wrong on his end? I don't know what's going on there. That's crazy. But they're sending all these guys there because of what the Democrats, now we know, were organizing and orchestrating behind the scenes. So now that we know this, what's going to happen? And we'll get to that. But it's crazy that we're looking at a situation where these officers are under assault. And also, this isn't, he had it wrong. These aren't CBP. If you look closely here, that's Bureau of Prisons. These aren't even ICE they were attacking. They were Bureau of Prisons. So I have the video of that. Like I said, guys, this is on the fly, so I'm just trying to find everything at once. So if you have a seizure from me scrolling, I apologize in advance. So here's that video. Let me get that playing for you.
Sir, while you're giving messages, what would your message to the protesters that want you out be? As long as you're giving comment, do you have any comment for the people that want you out?
Back up! Please, give me some room!
Thanks, Cheryl.
It's me and 30 people. Please get back!
Officer, I'm also a paramedic. You are bleeding. Can I help you?
I'm fine.
Are you sure?
I'm fine.
Sir, you're giving comment to the local PD. Do you have any comment to the community, to the people that want you out, to the people who are here specifically because your department is here? Do you think it's worthwhile?
Now, keep in mind, this is the same guy that we just saw an image of bleeding. These super smart, evolved leftists who are super smart and together and everything's all organized, they can't even read that the guy's from Bureau of Prisons right here openly, explicitly on his chest. And they're just, yeah, they hit him in the mouth for sure. I don't know if I have that video, Cheryl. I've seen it, but I don't know if I have it bookmarked. But yeah, they threw something large at him. I don't know if it was...
You're going to give comment. Don't you have comment for the people of Minneapolis? Hey.
He's just waiting for help of any kind, this guy.
What made you take the actions you're taking?
Now, if you recall, yeah, cement or like frozen like chunk of ice or something. No, I don't know if anybody really knows what it was. Now, if you remember, they sent the Bureau of Prison officers to help assist because even with what they sent on the ground, they were already overwhelmed, you know. So take a look at this.
You press or you press? Get back!
Stay back.
Get back!
This is what they're saying is a peaceful protest, by the way. All the spray paint, all the broken shit. This ain't assaulted prison guards. Oops, I accidentally clicked on that instead of closing it. Let me show you a little bit more. Here's a little more from down the This is peaceful. These people are...
Fuck you! God damn Oh, yeah. Back up. Oh, back up. Back up.
Again, guys, share this live if you can, anywhere you can. You saw where he called out the National Guard. This is what the National Guard was doing yesterday for Tim Walz.
It's almost Valentine's Day. We get a shot of it,
But thank you all.
Now, I want you to understand what you're looking at here, okay? It's really important you understand what you're looking at here. Tim Walz brought the National Guard in to serve rioters. I've shared with you video of these people at this exact facility rioting, pouring water on the in the cold onto the road so that hopefully an ICE agent slips or maybe one of their vehicles crashes, a main road where other people could crash. These are the people getting served. Tim Walz had them do. Rioters. Now, keep in mind, people like Tim Walz are the same exact people who said that Trump sending the National Guard to clean up DC was ridiculous and a bad use of the National Guard. And then they do this, okay? Do not let these people win, guys. I don't know what else to say. That's why I need you to share this live. The hypocrisy with these people are it's just absolutely astounding to me and I think like I said, I think they're winning the narrative. I do. At this point, I think they're winning the narrative because you've got rhinos and you've got these gun groups and shit. They're siding with the insurrectionist that was blocking ICE. So back to Signalgate really quick. This is going to be kind of all over the place, but we've got Data Republican breaking Signalgate donors list available for download. Politicians plus foreign leadership confirmed. In one of the files revealed by Cam Higbee, a resource file directs people with money to a website, Stand With Minnesota, which in turn directs donors to campaign ran by Tending the Soil on Chuffed. More about Tending the Soil later. What to know. The campaign is hosted by Chuffed, and the first donation came from Johnny Sapotwick or whatever, a Canada-based community organizer who is part of Chuff's leadership, specializes in fundraising. He's most likely a central figure in raising money. So yeah, starting to look like foreigners are playing a key role in all of this. That's not all. I've put together a spreadsheet of 4,000 plus donors and their possible identities. Download in the link below. So she goes on to say, I think there was more to this one. Yeah. Right here. Download for yourself. Consider subscribing to me if you want to support my efforts here. And you should subscribe to her. She's a good follow. Right here, she says this may be a possible match to a labor attorney identified as Laura Christensen Garcia, who is reported to be based in Oakland, California, and associated with Beeson, Taylor, and Bodine, a National Lawyers Guild, San Francisco Bay Area chapter, union side legal work with Unite Here locals, and fellowship at Loyola University Chicago in the provided material. The record indicates immigrant justice adjacent work through labor and legal channels, but does not show any explicit anti-ICE statements or clearly attribute immigration justice activism. Searches also locate individuals with the same name in Minnesota, a city administrator, and several therapists who appear unrelated. So the linkage to I don't know what that says because that thing's in the way, Oakland labor attorney is tentative and may be incorrect. But anyway, she goes on. So check this post out. This was made. So these donors are even foreign donors, which is not a shock. I mean, look at what we've seen with, all the things that came out about what the hell was it called? Why am I forgetting what it was called, guys? You know what I'm talking about. That whole thing that we got rid of. It's just absolutely insane. This is another person that was in the Signal chat, according to 0 Hour. Why are Reuters reporters in that Signal app? It's a team sport. And this is the woman here that he claims is a Reuters reporter. What was this one? Yeah, right here. Policy analysis of Minnesota gun laws notes that the state blocks the public carry of guns on state capitol grounds and or political protests, meaning I'm glad somebody got the same thing I got. There are special restrictions on carrying at those kinds of locations, events beyond the general carry rules. So I'm guessing, didn't have those special, you know what I'm saying? He didn't have any kind of like special reason to be carrying a gun at this literal insurrection where they were breaking federal law by impeding ICE agents. So the guy got capped. There's an investigation going into it. And meanwhile, you've got the Oklahoma GOP governor saying things like this.
Broad agreement. President Trump closed the border, promised to get violent criminals out of our country. And I think everybody agrees with that. But now Americans are asking themselves, what is the end game? What is the solution? And, you know, we believe in federalism and state rights, and nobody likes feds coming into their state. And so what's the goal right now? Is it to deport every single non-U.S. citizen? I don't think that's what Americans want.
Bullshit.
We have to stop politicizing this. We need real solutions on immigration reform. And I believe that I've got a great solution, that we should give the states the authority to do workforce permits, right?
So are you saying that they should pull out of Minnesota?
Well, I think that the president has to answer that question. He is a deal maker, and he's getting bad advice right now. The president needs to let the American people, what is the solution? How do we bring this to conclusion? And I think only the president can answer that question because it's complicated. We have to enforce federal laws, but we need to know what is the end game. And I don't think it's to deport every single non-U.S. citizen.
That just came from a GOP governor, that we're not supposed to deport every single non-citizen. Now, you've got to understand, too, Trump has said similar because, you know, farmers rely on them and so on. Now, I don't personally think that, I don't agree with that. I think that they need to, I think they need to go. I think that they need to go. I don't care why they're here. I don't care who they're working for. I've said on many shows, you guys have been there when I said it, that, you know, Americans will do the work that they want to do. They're working, Trump admits himself, they work in, you know, hotels, they work in, things like that. Well, like hotels, for example, I can go to any hotel in Michigan and I guarantee you that there's going to be, especially in the UP, let's say, there's going to be Americans doing those jobs. So to use the excuse that hotels, you know, illegals only do hotel jobs is ridiculous. So let's take a listen to this real quick. I just wanted to show you this take. This will cover what I was trying to cover.
Hey guys, welcome to the Liberal Hive Mind, a channel solely focused on exposing the abundant hypocrisy of the left. And of course, here's the meme of the day brought to you by 5mind.com. All right,
Bullshit
well,
is right,
holy
Rob.
frickin'
Bullshit
crap.
is right.
I may have been completely wrong, I have to admit. I may have been a bit quick to dismiss the accidental discharge theory. I released a video almost immediately as that theory picked up, I think 2 days ago, and I presented it as interesting, but I was seriously doubting it. But now, after careful consideration, I'm not saying it happened, but I'm saying I may have been completely wrong in my dismissal. After watching the slow-mo video, I mean really slowing it down frame by frame, and also bringing the video into editing software and being able to really zoom in, as well as analyzing some other details that I missed. I mean, I have analyzed this video in painstaking detail at this point. I gotta say, it's looking a whole lot more plausible, possibly even highly likely. And again, you know, this just goes to show the difference between what we're doing here on this channel and what the left is doing. They seem totally uninterested in really analyzing the details of what happened, understanding all the factors. No, they just want to jump to conclusions immediately, push a partisan spin, take advantage of the confusion, and then basically use it as a green light to sow chaos, to foment chaos on the streets.
Yeah, like when I made my video about this whole situation, I didn't even make it until later that night, until there was multiple angles and stuff. I had a law with a gun on his hip. And then I saw the others been added and all this nonsense. I don't know if that's true or not. but he was definitely in their faces.
It's very obvious what's going on, at least on that side. It's also not exactly obvious what led to the shooting of Alex Pretti. And of course, finding the truth is the most important thing here. What led to that first shot being fired? Well, let's continue to delve down this theory. We got some stuff to get into. So let's roll the tape. All right, folks, so like I said in the intro, I've been watching this on slow motion over and over again. And I want to go over in painstaking detail every single element that I'm seeing here. Now, firstly, let's play that particular point in slow motion and let me know in the comments what you see. If you can slide back and forth, I'll try to keep it relatively zoomed in. Now, when it just runs like that, you can't exactly see every element. So let's now freeze the frame or focus on a couple particular frames and go over every single element. Firstly, I think what's probably most obvious is it does appear, if you really zoom in, like the slide of the gun potentially cocked back as he was whipping the gun around, or possibly, if we freeze here actually, from this shot, I can't tell if it's the low quality nature of the video, if it's kind of like a lack, and you could see a little bit of the barrel, if up, as if the slide is pulled back and the internal barrel component of the gun is what's visible. And as he whips the gun around, as it reaches kind of like the whip apex, it's almost as if the slide pushed forward. That's visual cue number one. That's the first element of evidence. Now, the second element, it's extremely quick, and I think it's only captured on one frame, and this is why I missed it initially. It does almost seem as if there's a small puff of smoke at the moment the gun is whipped back. Now, you'll notice it's really subtle, and again, it's hard to tell if it's some sort of, low quality video fragmentation, but between these two frames on the video here, as the gun just barely crosses past his leg, it feels like it jumps up maybe an inch or two, and that appears to be some sort of gray matter coming out of the barrel. Maybe I could bring this into Photoshop really quick and kind of play with the colors and the contrast and make it a little bit clearer. When I boost the contrast, it is instantly visible. That does appear as if it's smoke coming out of the barrel. I'm not going to claim 100% that that's exactly what it is, but it certainly does look like it.
Now, the important thing to know, and I'm sure most of you who's going to see this, you're watching now or will see this in the future, this particular model of Sig Sauer, they have, there's like memes about how these things will just auto fire. They auto fire. This theory that this gun auto fired when they got it on their hand, I think is also credible, just like he now thinks. He didn't think that was credible yesterday. I thought it was credible yesterday. But I don't, like I said, I've been really busy. I haven't had time to dig. I was glad to see that he did, and that's why I'm showing this to you now. But you need to understand that particular model especially is known for auto firing. I actually have a 22 rifle that I got from my father. It's an antique. I cleaned it all up and everything, put the mag in on the front porch. That sucker shot the second I put the mag in. I wasn't even touching the trigger. My hand was nowhere near the trigger. I'm just glad it was facing out towards nothing. So I don't really mess with that gun very much. So it does happen. Okay. Keep that in mind.
That's not the only factor, by the way. The next thing we have to look at is actually this item on the ground. It appears to be possibly a baseball cap, maybe some sort of black piece of cloth. It could actually be Alex Pretti's hat, if I'm not mistaken. Well, you'll notice right as that smoke goes off, the hat kind of pops up in the air. Some people are suggesting that it's the officer's foot that makes contact with the hat and causes it to do that. But if you look at the frame, I don't know if that's the case. I don't know if he steps on it. And it's hard to tell whether him kind of barely grazing it with his foot there, or I guess compressing and pushing off with his foot, if that would make the cloth from the top of the hat pop up in the air like that. Question is that the impact from possibly a bullet being shot at it, on it, or in its near direction, near vicinity? I don't know, guys. Initially when I was looking at this video, I was looking for impact with the concrete, maybe some dust being created, although, there probably wouldn't be so much dust from a 9mm making impact with the concrete, especially frozen concrete, which I assume is a whole lot harder. But I guess all this to say, this is a plausible theory. And now the question is, were the officers who were involved in this encounter, in this situation, were they aware? Was the crime scene preserved? Where's that hat? Is there a bullet hole in that hat? Did it make contact directly with the hat? Is there bullet damage to the concrete at that specific area? The officer in question, who has Alex Pretti's gun in his hand, what does he have to say? And of course, these are important questions to ask before coming to a conclusion. This is why investigating is so important. It's why you cannot jump to political conclusions, make all kinds of wild claims as if this guy was executed for political reasons just because, or he was unarmed and they knew it and they just shot him in the back for no reason. If you're jumping to that kind of conclusion instantaneously, you're obviously dishonest. Your opinions, frankly, I think should be immediately dismissed. What you're attempting to do is use a confusing situation to propagandize people. And really notice how the left doesn't want to engage in any of the actual debate. It's always the same thing with these people, right? The Kilmar Abrego Garcia case, I mean, every single case that has happened this year, all these high profile cases, the children supposedly being deported, they never actually...
All right, so he kind of goes off a little bit on, like, you know, side quests as far as what he's talking about. But at the end of the day, that's the reality of the situation. And why do they not need to engage? It's because they just double down, and then you see weak-kneed conservatives bend to their will because what's going on this year, right? What's going on in the fall, the midterms? They don't want to look bad, okay? And they know that the left controls the media. The left is the loudest voice in the room, no matter what, because we allow it. We allow it. That's why I keep saying, like and share this and get it out there. So this happened on X here. Let me show you this. Morris C. Sullivan, I'm a former assistant secretary of the VA and Marine Iraq veteran, as if that matters anymore. Secretary Vet Affairs, your statement is appalling and beneath the dignity of the office you hold. You should be honoring Alex Pretti's dedicated service at VA, yet you are clearly more loyal to Trump than our fellow veterans. Alex, his grieving family, our nation's veterans, VA employees, and America deserve better than your dishonorable leadership. So what did he say that was so awful? He said, we can confirm Alex Pretty was a nurse at Minneapolis VA Medical Center. As President Trump has said, nobody wants to see chaos and death in American cities. And we send our condolences to the Pretti family. Such tragedies are unfortunately happening in Minnesota because of state and local officials' refusal to cooperate with the federal government and enforce the law and deport dangerous illegal criminals. Nothing is wrong about what he said right there. But what bothers me the most is that the Signal chat had been out. Why didn't he bring that up? Why are we not bringing up this Signal chat? It seems like it's only happening on X for the most part, from what I can see, and on certain YouTube channels. The media is not talking about it. So Libs of TikTok said, hey, is this you? To the person that just posted that at him. Look at 8647. There she is, right there. This is why, you know, this right here is exactly why we need to, you know, that's why people like me need like likes and shares, people just like me, myself, because we need to drown these people out, because these are the types of people that are controlling the narrative on what happened that day right now. Okay, these are the types of people that are controlling the narrative on what actually went down. Now that dude, he didn't have to die, but he joined that group. This is what we saw from them when one of ours who was willing to go out and talk to these retards, this is what we saw from them. Okay, Denver communist Charlie Kirk had it coming, changed my mind. Okay, keep that in mind. I am so tired of these fucking idiots controlling the conversations every time you turn around. These are the people that control the conversations, the people that made the Charlie Kirk meme, the people that said that, oh, hopefully they get Trump next. All these people are now upset because an insurrectionist got shot, and they're controlling the narrative. So since all this has gone down, some things have changed, okay? This happened. Border Patrol hits +3 approval, 45-42, they're up. And latest YouGov poll, despite nonstop smears, public wants deportations and real enforcement. Media losing narrative. Do you support ICE? Okay, so this is what happened yesterday, right? So, you know, CNN can't allow this. I've shown you, how many times have I shown you guys this on my show? How many times have I shown you this? Anytime something positive for the Trump administration comes out, somebody is going to come out with a poll that says the exact opposite. And here they are. Within 24 hours, here's Harry Enton. Let's take a listen.
Yeah, I'm not really surprised that President Trump is sending Tom Homan in because ICE, DHS, Kristi Noem have been a political disaster. Because just take a look here. I mean, ICE's net approval rating during Trump's term. You go back to term number 1. Look, it's pretty even at 0 points. You go to June 2025, right? That was when all that stuff was going on in Los Angeles. They dropped down. Look at this, minus 17 points, way in the basement. But then after Minneapolis, it's even lower, minus 27 points on the net approval rating.
Now, that's not what we were just told yesterday, but here we are 12 hours ago being told that overnight, all of a sudden, somehow, magically, CNN contacted a whole bunch of other people. Isn't that amazing? Nobody I know is upset about this. Everybody I know completely gets why this guy got capped. The reasons, of course, are like, still up in the air. Like, did the gun actually auto fire? It could have. We've got video of him reaching for something in his holster. I don't think that he knew they grabbed his gun. He pulls something out. People are speculating that it was another magazine. Either way, if an agent saw him reaching in there, I know they yelled gun. Everything you're seeing slowed down and in still frames happened within about 1 to 2 seconds. With people blowing whistles, beeping their horns, screaming, filming, getting up all around the area. So, like, at the end of the day, these guys are human just like me and you. And I love all these armchair lefties who now are super pro guns, pro 2A, saying, oh, look, now MAGA's against 2A. No, we're not against 2A, but we think that you should, be smart with carrying guns as well. Oh, well, what about Kyle Rittenhouse? He pedophile Antifa terrorist lit a thing, he goes to put it out and he gets attacked by a bunch of pedophiles. But yet you've got literal rhinos saying things like, if I can find it here, give me 1 second. Where is that little weasel? Right here. You've got little weasel rhinos like this. Listen to this.
And I think what frustrates people, you remember Kyle Rittenhouse and how he was made a hero on the right. I am sure there are people on the conservative side who are saying, wait a minute, you mean you can't take a firearm to a protest because you were just celebrating?
Look at this dude's eyes. Tell me he's not a freaking demon. They're black. Like, what is wrong with this dude?
The guy for doing it a couple of years ago, Alex Pretti's firearm was lawfully being carried. It's lawful to carry a gun in Minnesota. He never brandished it. He didn't point it at the cops. And I think what frustrates people, you remember Kyle Rittenhouse.
Now, you see that rhino, and you heard what he said. This is exactly what liberals are doing, okay? There are literally people on the right saying that he should be the new AG. This guy should be the AG. Yes, his own dad, exactly, Cheryl, told him not to go because they weren't sure if he was going to do the right thing and act proper. You've got this guy. This is hilarious. This is Devin from Legal Eagle gets emotional about it. Let's take a look at this. It's almost 2 minutes of this cuck crying.
And by God, that's commendable. And we need to continue to stand up because they did too. And look, you don't need to be a lawyer to know that their shootings were not justified. But I think we need to take a step back too to recognize that,
Yeah, his hairdo is weird. He looks like a duck.
And CBP shouldn't have been there in the first place. They have no right and no duty to do crowd control, to be on the front lines.
Do you hear what he just said? Did you hear what he just said? That they don't have any right to be there. Border Patrol has no right to be there. Let me just check something for us really quick, just for a little bit of a reference. Freaking Minneapolis is close to the Canadian border. Like 250 miles, depending on where you're at in the city. BPD can be there. And not to mention, who are they supposed to send? You've got the Minnesota National Guard passing out cookies and cupcakes to the rioters. The police are told to stand down. So if they send in 4 guys to a neighborhood to take out a violent felon, illegal alien, who's defending them? That's why there's so many there. This guy is a fucking idiot. And I hope somebody, like, never mind.
Using weapons against protesters. These people should not be armed. We've sort of grown inured.
Yes, only the rioters and insurrectionists should be armed, right?
To it, but they are not enforcing criminal law. Even when they are enforcing immigration laws, which they are not right now, it is...
They're not enforcing criminal law when they go and they pick up a rapist who's an illegal, who's molested children, blah, blah, blah. That's not enforcing criminal law. When they're picking up people that have their deportation orders since 2009, that's not enforcing criminal law. Also, I get a little tired of the argument that, oh, just because they cross the border, that's just a misdemeanor. It's a felony misdemeanor, and the punishment for doing so is deportation. Okay, I think we skip over that part as people on the right, and we forget to remind these demons about that because they say it so freely, and I just rarely ever do they get checked.
State-sponsored protest control of people exercising their First Amendment rights.
Attack, physically have altercations with, resist arrest for, commit crimes in front of federal agents. ICE can arrest me if they're in the area and I break a window in someone's house. They can arrest me. They're federal agents. These are the people that are getting people like Alex Pretti and this idiot Renee Good person shot. Because they keep making it seem as though ICE is just, what are they? Oh, they're just some random dudes that the government sends out to collect illegals. No, they're federal agents, period.
They are enforcing regulatory and civil laws. And there's no reason they should have firearms in the first place. I don't even think should have.
There's no reason they should have firearms in the first place. Not even a little reason as to why they should have firearms in the first place. This is what happened on January 6th, if you recall. And that there led to a woman getting shot in the face who presented absolutely zero threat to the officer that shot her in the face. And she was vilified for what she was doing. They don't have any reason to carry a gun, but yet the neighborhoods have to do stuff like this, right? They have to board up their windows. But ICE agents should be out there just with what? With what? What should they have to protect themselves from the people that cause these businesses to board up their windows? Nothing? Are you joking? Being that ICE is the target? Get out of here with that nonsense. Let's go back to the absolute This isn't even ICE. These are just freaking prison guards.
Get back!
I'm going to play it again and then try to pause it. All right, so this guy right here, watch right here. This is what happened. And this isn't ICE or Border Patrol. This is prison. Bureau of Prisons. That is a... Whoa. It almost looks cylindrical. Like a can almost of some sort. Yeah, I still don't know what that is. But that's what hit that guy in the face. And then you've got somebody like this beta male right here telling you that they don't need guns.
Are not right now. It is state-sponsored protest control of people exercising their First Amendment rights. At best, they are enforcing regulatory and civil laws. And there's no reason they should have, and they shouldn't be using tear gas and pepper spray and bear spray.
You shouldn't be using tear gas to get the people that are throwing weird shit at your face out of your face so that you can conduct your operations and be, go about your day.
On protesters, that's insane. It would be as if we gave every postal worker and every person who delivers the mail, an AR-15. They don't need it to complete their duties, and it's insane that they have been armed and are wearing flak jackets and are obviously wearing masks for no other reason than to obscure their identity. And
no other reason than to, okay, that's enough from this idiot. Let's take a listen to why they obscure their identity. Let's take a listen to exactly why they do that, everyone, shall we? 1 second. Again, if you have a seizure because I'm scrolling, I apologize. Let's take a listen to why they obscure their identity. This is one of the ICE agents whose identity was discovered.
You're a fucking fascist pig. You should fucking kill yourself. I hope your wife dies. I hope your mom and dad die. I hope everything wrong that could go in your life happens. I hope you have the most miserable life. I hope you get hit by a bus. I hope you're paralyzed and your wife leaves you and starts getting f***ed by BBCs every day. You are a traitor to the American people, to the values that made our very country. You should kill yourself. You're f***ing disgusting. I hate you. Everyone hates you. You're a f***ing murderer, and all of your friends are f***ing murderers, and your bosses are a bunch of pedophiles. Kill yourself. You're a
And what do you think somebody like that would do if they find out where these people live, right? What did they do to J.D. Vance's house just a couple weeks ago? Just saying. I mean, this guy calls it pretty good. David Marcus says it's very disappointing to see so many conservatives prepared to surrender to organized anti-government agitators impeding and assaulting federal agents because they are worried about optics and messaging. It's like I said, it's the midterms, guys. It's the midterms. So, having said all that, we've now got in New York, or Philadelphia rather, this is what the LARPing Black Panthers are doing.
Black power, motherfucker. Because they came because people had guns. And then they went back upstairs because the Black Panthers got guns and they ain't gonna shit about it.
À Philadelphie, c'est
Those were cops, by the way.
illégal de se promener avec une arme à feu visible dans la majorité des lieux publics, à condition de détenir un permis de port d'armes.
Oh, Black Panther Party is back. For real. What is the goal?
Black liberation.
Black liberation? I thought I was liberated already.
Do you see this idiot? I just want to show you this. Where did that go? Let me see if I can get it. I don't know if it'll work because this is blocking the
Real. What is the goal?
Black liberation.
Black liberation.
Why? What a fucking retard.
Yeah. Well,
ICE came on here looking around and they saw you
But
and they wanted
aren't
to.
you guys afraid that the police is gonna start confronting you guys?
we make them leave. We make them move.
Soon as we approach cops, they take off running.
No, but ICE need to stop though.
Yeah,
We on that.
Okay?
We're
ICE need to
anti-ICE.
stop.
The guy with the accent says ICE needs to stop. I wonder why. Anyway, so we've got all that. We've seen all this. We've got this idiot here as well. This is Sarah, founder and publisher of the Bulwark. She's for this far left. Well, I'm not even going to call it far left. This leftist organization here. Listen to what she says.
I do. I think this is going to backfire on them. And let me tell you why. Because there's something that people who are big fans of the Second Amendment understand, which is that the reason
The people who don't show up to vote in midterms, by the way, the same people that never show up to vote in midterms.
that people fight so hard to maintain our Second Amendment is because they fear the tyranny of the government, right? It is about being able to protect yourselves if jackbooted thugs are robbing you of your other constitutional rights. And this is very clearly what is happening in this video.
It's very clearly what's happening in this video. Wrong. So, yeah, it's absolutely crazy. So, the last thing I wanted to get into with y'all was what transpired today since all of that. Trump announced he had a very good telephone conversation with Mayor Jacob Frey of Minneapolis. Lots of progress is being made. Tom Homan will be meeting with him tomorrow in order to continue the discussion. Thank you for your attention to this matter, President Donald J. Trump. Okay, so what happened is, where is he? I might be going too far, guys. Give me a sec. Give me a sec. Give me a sec. Greg Bovino he's leaving Minnesota. Absolute boss. Here's a glimpse of some treatment he received while he was on the ground.
All these fucking bums. Fucking bum. You're a bitch. And if your wife is out, probably fuck her too. You guys are all bitches. You can't do shit to me. You can't do a thing to me. Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, so that's the type of shit that happened to him, and he thinks he's untouched. What happened is his administration is backing down. Do they not know who Tom Homan is? Well, okay, I get that. I get that. Now, Awaken Mandate also says Trump switched out Bovino for Homan and the rage baiters. Oh my God, Trump caved. How stupid are these people? It's a change in strategy, not a cave. Get a life. Okay, I'm just trying to show you some different perspectives. This is WEF Greg Abbott, Texas governor. ICE needs to recalibrate their mission. He can go to hell. And then we've got Scott Jennings. Bill Mulligan says, very misleading from Walls. Yes, his prisons honor ICE detainees, detainers by transferring convicted criminals, aliens after they serve their sentence, but his city and county jails do not. ICE wants criminal aliens arrested for crimes handed to them instead of being released to the streets. Even California prisons honor ICE detainers. The sanctuary fights are over city and county jails. You can come in if you're going to be shutting up. All right, so this is what Governor Walz had a productive call with President Trump earlier today. This is from Walz, just so you all know. The governor made the case that we need impartial investigations of Minneapolis shootings. We don't. And that we need to reduce the number of federal agents in Minnesota. The president agreed that he would talk to the Department of Homeland Security about ensuring the Minnesota Bureau of Criminal Apprehension is able to conduct an independent investigation, as would ordinarily be the case. The president also agreed to look into reducing the number of federal agents in Minnesota and working with the state in a more coordinated fashion on immigration enforcement regarding violent criminals. The government reminded President Trump that the Minnesota Department of Corrections already honors federal detainers, and that's what I just read you is absolutely false. The federal prisons, Bureau of Prisons may, but like you said, the state and local. Now, I don't believe anything. I don't necessarily believe what was said here because of who it's coming from. The guy's basically like, you know, the worst of the worst used car salesman, this Walz asshole. I do think Trump will reduce the amount of agents if they will start working with him at all levels of, you know, imprisonment to get these people. The reason they're there is because this same administration released a couple thousand of these criminals out onto the street rather than turning them over to ICE to begin with. So that's why they're on the street getting beat up, hit in the face with things and so on. And that wasn't even ICE again. That was just the extra security from the Bureau of Prisons. So I don't know. I'm not gonna believe what right off. But he said the problem with negotiating with Walz is that he's dishonest buffoon and therefore cannot be trusted. I agree 100%. I agree 100%. I agree 100,000%. So Bovino's out. He's still working. He's going back to his old position. It says right here, Department of Homeland Security Tristan McLaughlin has confirmed that U.S. Customs and Border Protection Commander Gregory Bovino has not been relieved of his duties, contradicting reports from multiple media outlets saying he is a key part of the president's team and a great American. Boom. So there you have it. Now, this is false, I think, here. He has not been promoted, I don't believe. The White House says he will retain a national leadership role. I have not seen anything about that. Oh, Nick Sorger's underneath here. Love you, man, but you're incorrect. Bovino has been demoted. I take no pleasure in reporting that. He's now back to his former role as agent in El Centro sector. If you think I'm in this for clicks, then you don't know me. Okay, so do with that what you will. Demoted, promoted, whatever. I think he just went back to the job that he had. Is that a demotion? If they don't need him anymore, I guess. But at the end of the day, what we're looking at is we're looking at basically the Trump administration is talking to the Walz team. You can't trust them very much. I'm sure what they're going to do is they're going to say, okay, here's what we're going to do. We're going to pull back some troops. We're going to see how these people play. Like I said at the beginning of the show, I think they've known about these signal chats long before they were discovered by Nick Sorter. I do. I think they knew. I think they knew about these chats long before chats now, where people are running, literally heading for the hills, talking about I am fleeing. This is we can get in a lot of trouble for this. I've got it bookmarked somewhere. I can show you that before we go. But I think what we're looking at is they probably said something along the lines of, and you guys, shit, I swear I did. I mark so much, guys, for my shows, and then, you know, I get so busy I can't always do a show right away, and then here we are. Oh, this is another thing. That Pretti guy, he was in the Signal chat. So this is right here. Meet Flan Southside, aka Lieutenant Governor Peggy Flanagan, dispatch admin. If I could talk, admin of the Signal chat group. Of course, Anita Smithson would include her to the group to run dispatch operations. Still figuring out who Boogie is. Maybe it's Tim Walls. We have that, and this person here says, if true, trouble, and that's what led them to saying things. I don't know where the hell that bookmark went. Oh, by the way, Guns N' Roses did this on stage to a Trump figure. If you like them, I guess more power to you, but they're a bunch of losers. Dang it. I know I swore I marked it, but I'm not seeing it. He says Signal is empty now. Yeah, I'm not seeing that I marked it. Anyway, I'm sure you can find it on X pretty easily if you just search what I said. Dang it, man. Sometimes my my bookmarks don't take on X either. It's weird. It's not all the time, but it happens sometimes. Yeah, so I don't think I this is good right here. Democrats 364 days of the year ban guns, confiscate them all. Democrats on the one day an armed leftist carries a gun while assaulting a cop. Two-way rights. Isn't that accurate? Is that not accurate? Oh, I forgot to show you this. Look. This idiot grabbed the flashbang. The army. The military army that they send out into the streets. Look. Oh, no.
Oh my God.
Oh my God.
It appears she still has all of her fingers, unfortunately, though. I wasn't sure about that.
God.
So there you have that. And then I am not finding... Oh, and this one say I'm running as a Republican. When the most important thing to know about this guy, honestly, is that he donated to Tim Walz, he donated to Biden, and he donated to Kamala. So at the end of the day, he's not really a Republican. He was a plant to make sure that the same people held power to his state. That's an FAFO situation there. But yeah, I'm not seeing where... He says FBI will have a warrant for all that Signal chat data, including the illegal license plate search data, once the judge signs it. Signs that, oh boy, some people are effed. Oh, and this plane crash today, this jet crash today, turned out belonged to top anti-ICE, anti-Trump lawyers who defend illegal aliens, all passengers presumed dead. Here's what we know. A 2020 Bombardier CL600 Challenger belonging to KTKJ Challenger LLC crashed on takeoff last night at Bangor International Airport. Booms could be heard throughout the area and reported 8 travelers and presumed dead. The LLC is registered to Jason Itkin and Kurt Arnold, 2 trial attorneys who've made waves fighting conservatives in Texas and defending illegal aliens. It's not known whether Itkin and Arnold were on board when they were in Maine. The Texas Voice has reported, along with George Soros and other personal injury trial lawyers with both Arnold and Itkin and Abraham Watkins law firms, were major donors to the far left first. See, now, I need you to understand, when I first heard this story, I heard the exact opposite. I heard they were MAGA. I heard they were MAGA people. So I don't know what to believe there, but I thought I'd bring it to your attention. And this guy's still making dumbass videos. But yeah, I guess I either it didn't take, or I don't know. I guess it didn't take. So that's kind of shitty. Yeah, this guy points out that these have accidental discharges all the time. See? He just made it happen. Want to see? Watch.
put some input into the slide somewhere. Will it go off again? Will it release? Let's see. Number 4. Let's try it again. Let me show you. Fully functioning striker safety. All right. Should we do it with the magazine again? Let's put the magazine back in, and then we'll try the last one with the magazine out. Handy dandy trigger input tool. We are going to try to, dang, sorry about that. I'm trying to get over a sinus thing and a cough. We're going to try to simulate all right, here we go. Again, we are roughly, as we saw on the tabletop, I'm guessing we're roughly 1 millimeter to less than 1 millimeter of engagement on that trigger. And let's see if we can get it to go off again.
And there you have it. So it does kind of add some credence to the fact that maybe when he pulled the gun off him, it went off, and that caused all kinds of hell because, you know, there were people blowing their stupid rape whistles, yelling, screaming, honking their horns. It caused a situation that didn't need to happen. So here it is. The guy that stepped down, you know, here's Bernie Sanders bragging about the guy that stepped down, Chris Mato, top Republican, he says. This is how you know he was a fake. Bernie Sanders calls him a top Republican. This is who he donated to. His donation record. Joe Biden, $2,800 to Biden for president, 9/14/2020. $2,800 to Biden Victory Fund PAC, 9/14/2020. Kamala Harris, $3,300 for Harris for president, 3/11/2024. $3,300 for Harris Victory Fund PAC, 3/11/2024. Tim Walz, $4,000 for governor, 12/15/2021. $1,000 for Congress, 3/31/2015. 250. Amy Klobuchar, she's not a Republican. She's that lady that is becoming the front runner, aside from probably now Mike Lindell, to take over Minnesota. She's the one who, if you all remember, years ago got caught using a comb to eat her salad because she was so mad at her staff. 3,000 Senate campaign, 3,000 PAC. Y'all know what he is. 250 for Congress. John Kerry, $2,000, and Paul Wellstone. This guy hasn't donated to a single Republican, but he was running as the GOP. Do you see what we're up against? That's why you need to share people like me and everyone like me and get the word out, because the media ain't going to tell you all this stuff. They're not going to tell you all these things. Lastly, I'm going to leave you with this. I just wanted to read this to you guys and just leave this in your head because I thought this was really well written. I thought the sentiment here was pretty good. I want you to remember Charlie Kirk getting his neck blown out in front of college kids. The entire world watched it happen. And I want you to remember how the left reacted, how they celebrated, how they justified it, how hundreds of thousands of people liked a post where Amanda Seyfried said he deserved it. Then remember how enraged they were when President Trump moved his head and survived an assassination attempt on live television, something that would have thrown this country into chaos, if not outright civil war. We've already been in civil war since 2017, if not a little bit before that. Remember how they built shrines and merch for Luigi Mangione after he murdered an innocent man in cold blood? And Ashley Babbitt, they didn't just defend the shooting, they turned her killer into a hero and have mocked her death for 5 years straight. Their hypocrisy is so loud and rancid, it makes their obnoxious red whistles seem quiet. This isn't politics. This is a communist insurgency carried out by people who openly worship the ideology of Karl Marx and want to eliminate everyone to the right of him. They don't care about life or innocent victims. They care about power, and they will justify any amount of bloodshed to get it. And we've seen this over and over, all through Trump's first term. And what did they do to Trump when he wasn't president? Accept where we are. It's not going to be pretty. Do not be manipulated by their narcissistic, emotional blackmail warfare. The only way is through. I wanted to just end this show on that because it's really important. I cannot stress, I've told you guys forever, we have been in a one-sided civil war for years. For years. Remember the cement milkshakes in term one? Remember they were doing pee bottles then, they're doing them now. They were doing ice bottles then, they're doing them now. All the same tactics. Hitting people with things. The bike lock to the head. Just insanity. Because these people have been activated by the president before Trump. This has been something that's gone on for nearly 10 years and we've sat by the wayside. The people you see siding with these leftists, you need to call them out with the facts. If you didn't see this whole live, go back through it. You can see the facts, okay? They send their insurgents. They set up these things. They've got them in California. If you remember that Karen Bass or whatever, she made it clear openly that they had something like this signal chat going on in California, right? That's why I believe Trump knew about the one in Minnesota. And that means that they have them elsewhere. So when you see people leaving comments like, oh, that's an open carry state. Oh, that's a, they can shoot ICE officers for, absolutely no reason. You need to screenshot those comments. You need to go to X. You need to make a post and you need to hit the @ symbol and type FBI and tag the FBI. You need to give them a link to that person's profile before you leave to go do that on X. Okay? So they can find that profile. We cannot keep playing around. These people want us dead. You don't understand. If we lose in the midterms, there's a lot to lose, guys. The agenda, the executions and prosecutions over stupid shit. It's going to be nothing but hearings for Tom Homan and hearings for Greg Bovino and hearings for this and hearings for that. And nothing's going to pass. I told you last year, the minute that they passed that budget, and we found out that the next one comes up the end of this month, I said they're going to find a reason to not keep the government open because people want their tax returns. And it looks like that's where we're heading right now. So I need you guys to understand, we're not up against just it's not left versus right. These people are demons. They're socialist communists. They hate the country. They tried to reclaim the flag in 2024, and now they hate the flag again. Do you see how they are? They will play. This woman that won Virginia, she swore at a convention, literally said the F word, quit saying that effing word, when they were talking about socialist candidates. She then ran in Virginia as a middle-of-the-road Democrat, and what's the first thing she did the minute she got power? She started doing socialist, communist shit with the state passing those laws. We got to stay informed, guys. We got to stay head on a swivel. These people literally, I cannot stress this enough. They want us dead, and they will come after us. You think them not turning over voter rolls right now is no big deal. You're like, oh, they're just not turning them over because they know that there's illegals and dead people voting. But watch what happens if they win in the midterms, how fast they'll be getting the voter rolls to see who voted for Trump in 2024. Think I'm lying, guys. Think I'm lying. Anyway, guys, that was my show for you tonight. I hope it was a little bit informative. I'm sorry it was a little bit kind of back and forth on some things, but I didn't have time to organize and assemble this. I had a really long day, but I wanted to get this information out to you about the signal chats. So if you have X, I highly suggest you go on there and start searching signal chat Minnesota or Minneapolis and start digging through what's there and educate yourself on that too, because this shows you that these people, unlike the right, are very organized. And they're very willing to take this country down and everything it stands for in the process. Now, you've got supposedly people who hate ICE now. I mean, they were up yesterday by 3 points, and now supposedly today they're down 27 points, right? But you've got people that are claiming they hate ICE on both the left and the right now on social media. You can't really trust social media, but I'm just saying their optics, they will make it seem as though their optics are working. And the more it seems like their optics are working, the more it sways normal people, okay? People who maybe are in the middle or whatever. It sways them a certain way because they want to be with the people that are in the right or the people that are, the bigger crowd or whatever. And that's how those people are a lot of the times. So it's important that we get the truth out there, guys. So like I said, search X for those signal chats and see what's going on in reality. There's a lot more than what I could cover tonight. I've already gone for an hour and 19 minutes. So I will let you go on that note. You all have a great rest of what's left of your Monday night. And thank you for